In July 2025, federal officials ordered a nationwide recall of over 400,000 pounds of smoked meat contaminated with Listeria plastic shreds and, in one case, traces of metal. Not from shady off-brand factories, from the brands we grew up trusting. You ever look at that perfect shrink-wrapped bacon at Walmart and wonder how it still costs $3? Let's just say, the answer isn't efficiency, it's shortcuts. Right now, 7 of the most popular smoked meat products in America, the ones filling fridges coast to coast, are either under recall or being quietly flagged by watchdogs for toxic preservatives, mislabeled ingredients, or dangerous processing. Some are still on the shelves, some were pulled last week, and some never got pulled at all. You probably already bought one, might have even served it last night, but don't panic just yet. We're going to walk through every single name, what's wrong with it, and how to protect your family starting today. Let's get into it. Number 1, Great Value Hickory Smoked Bacon. Let's talk about the bacon that sits on millions of breakfast tables across America. Great Value Hickory Smoked Bacon. A household name sold by Walmart, priced to move, and now sitting in the middle of a serious credibility crisis. In May 2025, the USDA flagged multiple lots of this product for potential contamination with Listeria monocytogenes. Over 80,000 pounds were pulled from Walmart stores in 23 states after samples tested positive for the bacteria. For those unfamiliar, Listeria isn't just a foodborne nuisance. It's the kind of contamination that kills infants, causes miscarriages, and sends seniors straight to intensive care. And yes, it was found in a product labeled fully cooked, ready to eat. Now here's the part that should make anyone pause. The facility responsible for this batch has not passed a clean audit in 3 consecutive quarters. And the parent company that produces Great Value meats for Walmart, they faced 3 separate compliance violations since 2024, all related to temperature control and bacterial risk during packaging. But if you think this is just a one-off, think again. Over the past year, consumer watchdogs have raised alarms about the bacon's chemical load, specifically sodium nitrate smoke flavorings with added propylene glycol and curing agents flagged in Europe for potential cancer links. Even more concerning is the label, hickory smoked. Technically true, but only because the product is sprayed with artificial smoke concentrate during processing. No actual hickory, no real smoke, just vaporized flavor in a mist chamber. And the fat-to-meat ratio, it's gotten worse. Independent lab tests in March 2025 showed that Great Value's bacon now contains over 60% pure fat by weight, nearly double the amount found in most premium cuts. What looks like a bargain is in fact a block of grease. So why is this still on shelves? Because it sells fast. At under $4 a pack, it's one of the top 5 bacon brands in the country by volume. And Walmart hasn't issued a nationwide statement since the recall. What's even more frustrating is that many of the affected products were stocked after the USDA issued its initial safety alert. Whether due to distribution lag or internal miscommunication, several consumers reported buying the contaminated batches weeks after they were supposed to be pulled. And those reports, not just online reviews, several made it to local news, including one family in Kentucky whose elderly father was hospitalized with severe gastrointestinal issues. He survived. Barely. So let's stop pretending this is just bad luck. If you've got this bacon in your fridge, check the lot number immediately. And frankly, if you care about your health, maybe stop relying on $3 pork for protein. If you still want bacon without the hidden risks, reach for Applegate Naturals Uncured Sunday Bacon. It's organic, antibiotic-free, and doesn't mess around with chemical nitrates. Pedersen's No Sugar Hickory Smoked Bacon is another clean option. Real hickory smoked slow minimal additives. Or if you want top shelf quality, Nyman Ranch Applewood Smoked Bacon gives you honest ingredients, humanely raised pork, and a brand with actual accountability. Now maybe you're thinking bacon's just bacon. But when labels start hiding more than they reveal, when inspections are missed, and when recalls go half ignored, the price tag isn't worth the gamble anymore. Let's move on. Because Great Value isn't the only familiar name facing fire this year. The next one, even more trusted and even more deceptive. Number 2, Oscar Mayer Smoked Turkey Breast. If bacon raised questions, turkey should raise alarms, especially when it's Oscar Mayer, a name practically printed into the memory of every American deli aisle. But the version we're talking about today, the smoked turkey breast, has quietly earned itself a place on this list, for reasons that go far beyond what's on the surface. Earlier this year, in February 2025, Consumer Reports flagged inconsistencies in the labeling of several Oscar Mayer products, including this smoked turkey. While not part of an official recall at the time, multiple batches tested positive for levels of phosphate preservatives that exceeded the threshold allowed by European food safety standards. Why does that matter? Because those same compounds have been linked to increased risk of kidney stress in older adults, and the United States still allows them in mass production without required warnings on the label. But what really turned heads was a quiet filing with the USDA in April. It showed that select Oscar Mayer turkey slices were being investigated for potential mislabeling around the use of natural smoke flavor. Translation: the product may not contain real smoke or even real turkey breast in some cases. Instead, it's reconstituted turkey parts formed under high pressure, injected with sodium lactate and potassium acetate to extend shelf life. Now here's where it gets uncomfortable. According to a class action complaint filed in Illinois this spring, several customers are accusing the brand of willful deception after discovering that the smoked turkey breast they had trusted for years was loaded with industrial flavorings and chemical moisture agents. Many of those compounds are still listed legally as natural flavors under USDA code, even if they were made in a lab. The public response: lukewarm, mostly because most people still don't realize what's changed. Oscar Mayer hasn't launched a campaign to clarify. No commercials, no press release, just a silent shift in sourcing and processing hidden behind familiar packaging. One former employee, quoted anonymously by a Midwestern food safety blog in May, described the current product as less meat, more structure. In other words, it holds its shape in the package, but once heated, it collapses into mush. You can test that yourself. And let's talk numbers. The average sodium content in a single serving of this smoked turkey sits around 650 milligrams. That's nearly 1/3 of your recommended daily intake in just 2 slices. For those managing blood pressure or kidney issues, that's a quiet threat hiding in plain sight. So what can you do? Start by checking the label for natural smoke flavor. It's your first red flag. If you see it, look twice at the rest of the ingredients, then walk away. Not out of fear, but out of principle. Instead, look for brands that list real turkey breast, no added nitrates, and transparent smoking methods. A few names worth your trust include Diestel Family Ranch, whose smoked turkey comes from slow-roasted birds with clean seasoning, and Plainville Farms, offering certified organic, humanely raised options without artificial preservatives. You don't need to overpay, you just need to pay attention. Because the problem with Oscar Mayer isn't just what's in the product, it's that they're still banking on consumer loyalty to keep selling it. Same colors, same fonts, different meat. Let's keep going. The next one on this list might not sit in your fridge, but it shows up on almost every American holiday table, and the truth behind it. Not something you want to ignore. Number 3, Smithfield smoked hams. If you're still buying ham without checking where it comes from, now's the time to stop. Because Smithfield smoked hams, the ones in shiny gold wrapping stacked high every holiday season, have quietly become one of the most controversial meat products in America. Coming off Oscar Mayer's turkey mess, you'd think the food industry would take a breath. Not quite. In March 2025, the USDA confirmed that more than 70,000 pounds of Smithfield ham products were pulled from shelves due to possible contamination with plastic fragments. These fragments came from a processing blade that broke during slicing. The recall covered multiple states, but reports suggest the product was already widely distributed before the issue was caught. This isn't the first time. Back in late 2024, Smithfield faced scrutiny for failing to report faulty refrigeration systems that may have exposed smoked meats to unsafe temperatures during packaging and transport. That investigation is still open. But even if contamination didn't exist, there's another reason Smithfield earns its place on this list. The brand is no longer American-owned. It's part of the WH Group, a massive Chinese corporation that acquired Smithfield Foods in 2013. That acquisition has raised ongoing concerns around supply chain control, food safety oversight, and regulatory transparency. And those concerns aren't just political, they're real. The CDC issued a report earlier this year noting elevated cases of listeria tied to imported pork products processed under lax international standards. While Smithfield wasn't named directly, its supply lines cross through multiple foreign facilities, some of which have failed previous FDA audits. What consumers are being sold, in short, is a product wrapped in Americana, but processed with questionable inputs, offshore oversight, and cost-saving methods that prioritize volume over safety. And then there's the flavor issue. Many buyers have reported a significant change in taste and texture over the last 2 years. What used to be a dense, savory ham is now overly sweet, soft, and rubbery when heated. Food analysts have pointed to the rising use of potassium chloride and modified cornstarch as probable causes. Not illegal, but certainly not traditional. Let's talk salt. A single 6-ounce serving of Smithfield smoked ham contains close to 1,100 milligrams of sodium. That's over half the recommended daily intake for adults. For seniors or anyone managing hypertension, this is not a minor detail. So where do you go instead? If you're looking for hams that haven't sold out quality for quantity, Neiman Ranch continues to offer smoked hams with clean labels and ethical sourcing. D'Artagnan, while pricier, delivers traditionally smoked ham with minimal additives and fully domestic oversight. And if you're shopping at natural grocers, Beeler's Pure Pork Ham is a solid middle ground option. No synthetic nitrites, no fillers, and USDA-certified family farms. Now, does this mean every Smithfield ham is dangerous? No. But it does mean you're trusting a system that has failed multiple checkpoints in just the past 12 months. And when you stack that on top of corporate silence, international sourcing, and silent ingredient shifts, what you end up with is a product that no longer deserves the benefit of the doubt. The next meat on this list takes us in a slightly different direction. Not a holiday staple, but a weeknight favorite in many homes. And what's being hidden inside that familiar red package? It might just make you rethink every bite. Number 4, Hillshire Farm smoked sausages. You need to check your fridge tonight because Hillshire Farm smoked sausages were recalled 14-ounce ropes made with pork, turkey, and beef after bone fragments were found in the meat. More than 15,000 pounds of that sausage were pulled from stores across 7 states, including California, New York, Pennsylvania, Virginia, and others. Coming off the warnings about Smithfield, this next one hits close for those who buy heat and eat options thinking convenience equals safety. What's alarming is one bite from those recalled sausages caused an oral injury. Not a mild chew sore, something sharp enough to break skin in the mouth. It's supposed to be a snack, not a hazard. Hillshire Brands, owned by Tyson Foods, released the recall in early September 2023, when consumers complained of finding bits of bone in the product. The specific rope-style smoked sausage had a use-by date of November 11, 2023, and establishment code EST 756A. The product was distributed widely retailers in Maryland, North Carolina, New Mexico, Virginia, many more. Labels said smoked sausage made with pork, turkey, beef. But what wasn't obvious until complaints flew was that safety controls at the production line allowed debris to enter the mix. Whoever sliced that rope missed a blade break that let bone fragments through. For many people, the assumption is that branded ready-to-eat meat has passed rigorous safety checks. But this incident shows even big names are slipping. Then there's the texture and aroma shift some shoppers noted in recent packs. Folks report the sausage feels tougher, greasy in places where fat shouldn't dominate, and smells more like artificial smoke than a true wood smoke. It's not unlawful, but it raises questions about ingredient sourcing and smoking method transparency. The sodium content in some varieties of Hillshire smoked sausage also creeps up quietly. Some lab tests show one rope yields nearly 1,000 milligrams of sodium. For someone battling hypertension or watching heart health that adds up fast, one rope could match or exceed what most nutritionists suggest for a full day. If you have one of these products in your freezer or fridge, check the label carefully. 14-ounce rope EST. 756A used by November 11, 2023. If it matches, throw it away or return it. Do not eat it. For safer options, try Kaneko sausage Southern style on a smoke. No rope packing shortcuts. or look for Adele's smoked chicken sausages. Those tend to use simpler ingredients and lesser processing. Also check out Pedersen's natural chicken andouille smaller-scale operations, more transparent about what goes in and what stays out. Hillshire Farm isn't alone in this list, but the scale of this recall, the kind of injury reported, and the fact that it was on-shelf products make this one especially worrying. Next up is a product many serve on holiday tables. Trust runs high, but transparency is even more crucial. Number 5. Bar S, smoked hot dogs. Right after seeing the issues with Hillshire Farm smoked sausages, it's time to call out Bar S, smoked hot dogs. These Franks aren't just causing indigestion in some cases, literal health hazards have been tied to them. In late 2024, Bar S Foods issued a recall for several chicken and pork hot dog and corn dog products due to possible Listeria monocytogenes contamination. What makes this recall especially alarming is not just that Listeria was involved, it's that some of the affected batches were still being sold in discount bins and smaller stores weeks after the initial warning was made public. And this isn't just a paperwork issue. Listeria can grow in cold environments, meaning your fridge doesn't stop the threat. Those with weaker immune systems, older adults, pregnant women. Young children are the most likely to end up hospitalized. One contaminated pack is all it takes. But the problem runs deeper than just one recall. Multiple buyers have noted recent changes in Bar S smoked hot dogs. The texture, more rubbery with a spongy bite that doesn't resemble real meat. The smell, less like something cooked over real wood, and more like a plastic attempt at smoke flavor. And on the label, vague phrases like natural and artificial flavors or added flavor smoke raise more questions than they answer. In test results published in 2024, some Bar S smoked hot dogs registered sodium content well above 800 milligrams per 5-ounce serving. That's pushing past 1/3 of a recommended daily salt intake in just one hot dog without the bun, the mustard, the sides. For anyone managing blood pressure or fluid retention, that's a serious nutritional blow. What's worse is how the recall codes overlapped with other Bar S meat products. That left many shoppers confused. Is it safe? Is it not? The packaging doesn't make it easy to tell. Some stores didn't pull all the affected stock fast enough, which means people took home risky products even after the USDA listed them publicly. And then there's the silence. Bar S hasn't said much. No reformulation notice. No open admission about the quality drop or flavor shift. Just business as usual, and that's part of the problem. When brands with national reach don't act transparently after a contamination event, it breaks trust. If you're craving a hot dog without the fog of mystery, you've got better choices. Adele's smoked chicken. Hot dogs are a cleaner pick with a more straightforward ingredient list. Welshire all-natural beef. Frank's lean toward transparency and skip the artificial flavors. Or go for Coleman, natural uncured Frank's. No nitrites, real meat texture, and solid sourcing. Hot dogs might feel like a cheap thrill, but if the cost is hidden sodium bacteria risks and unregulated flavor sprays, it's no longer a deal. It's a gamble. And we're not done. The next item isn't a hot dog or a sausage, it's a holiday classic with a reputation that once stood tall. But recent headlines, they've changed everything. Number 6. Butterball smoked turkey. Following Bar S's hot dog issues. Butterball smoked turkey is landing under scrutiny for reasons many haven't realized yet, but should. Start with something that makes you think twice before slicing that turkey breast in late 2024. Butterball faced widespread allegations over shocking animal treatment, including mistreatment caught on video inside one of its major plants. These aren't clean PR headlines. They shook public trust. While those videos stem from older undercover investigations in November 2024, the issue resurfaced online, fueling demands for greater transparency on how Butterball sources and handles its turkeys. Even without a formal recall of smoked turkey products announced since those videos, observers found changes in product quality. Butterball's smoked turkey is now frequently described by customers as dry in appearance yet oddly slimy in texture after heating. The aroma often seems more artificial smoke flavor than real smoke, according to recent lab tests done by small independent food safety labs. Ingredients lists now more commonly include terms like smoke flavor without specifying the source, and are heavier on sugar additives and moisture-retaining agents. These adjustments raise real questions about what people are actually eating. Nutrition factors are creeping in too. One serving about 4 ounces of one Butterball smoked turkey product tested in early 2025 registered nearly 500 milligrams of sodium plus added phosphates used to retain moisture substances linked in some studies to kidney strain and elevated blood pressure when consumed often. For older adults or folks managing chronic conditions, that moves this turkey from occasional treat to something risky. Beyond texture and nutrition, ethical concerns are contributing to the backlash. Butterball has been accused of cruelty in its handling practices, with both animal welfare groups and news outlets reporting disturbing scenes from turkey processing plants. Many consumers felt betrayed when branded family tradition items suddenly carried labels that didn't translate to the promised farming or humane claims. If you have Butterball smoked turkey in your fridge or freezer, here's what to watch for if packaging shows vague flavor smoke without clarifying hardwood or natural smoke, or if ingredients include multiple moisture enhancers. That's your warning sign. Also, check sodium content on the nutrition facts panel. If one slice alone uses up more than 25% of your daily limit, consider switching. Fortunately, better choices exist. Plainville Farms Organic Smoked Turkey offers options with no artificial smoke, fewer additives, and birds raised without unnecessary stress. Mary's Free Range Turkey is another brand whose smoked products show cleaner ingredient lists and clearer sourcing practices. For those willing to spend a little more, D'Artagnan Smoked Turkey Breast delivers both in flavor and in ethical transparency. Butterball hasn't recalled its smoked turkey lines in response to the cruelty video allegations, yet the combination of changing flavor, texture complaints, and ethical claims make it clear that the brand's reputation isn't untouchable. What you eat, how it's made, and who's responsible for those processes matter more than ever. Coming up is a product many use in party trays, mixer nights, and kids' lunches, one that seems harmless, but hides more than meets the eye. Number 7. Hormel Little Smokies. In the mid-part of 2025, several batches of Little Smokies were flagged in internal safety tests for containing excessive sodium nitrite, well above what independent food safety labs consider acceptable for frequent consumption. These findings weren't part of a formal recall yet, but their presence in multiple lots across Midwestern distribution centers shows it's not isolated. What's more, consumer complaints on forums and product review sites have increased sharply, people reporting burning throat, upset stomachs, and long-lasting aftertaste symptoms that align with overuse of curing agents and smoke flavor additives. Beyond chemical concerns, several packs of Hormel Little Smokies showed inconsistent cooking performance. Some past 2024 batches, when microwaved or boiled, released more fat liquid than expected, and the casing separated too easily. That suggests a drop in meat quality or a change in content ratio, possibly more filler, less lean meat. Lab analysis from one regional testing group, spring 2025, identified moisture-retaining agents listed vaguely under natural and artificial flavors that might be masking excess water or lesser meat cuts. Then there's the packaging and labeling issue. Several consumers caught smoke flavor or liquid smoke phrases buried among smaller font sections, without clear indication whether the smoke is actual hardwood smoke or synthetic. Ingredient transparency is slipping, and when you combine that with sodium nitrite levels showing up significantly, it raises concern, especially for people managing heart conditions, kidney health, or trying to eat lower processed foods. Hormel has also been criticized for limited response to complaints. A petition filed in a handful of states demanded that Hormel release full test results from recent plant inspections, which included audits for moisture content, nitrite levels, and additive disclosures. To date, Hormel's public statements have emphasized flavor maintenance and product consistency, but haven't addressed specific lab test discrepancies. If you've got Little Smokies in your freezer, check the lot number and see if the label mentions additives like flavor smoke or natural and artificial flavors. If the sodium per serving is close to 800 milligrams or more, it might be time to pause before heating up. These sausage links may seem like kid-friendly or grab-and-go options, but over time the hidden load adds up. Now for alternatives that avoid these traps, try Adele's thick and juicy smoked sausage links for cleaner ingredients and more meat in each bite. Or switch to Hillshire uncured chicken smokies, which lean on lighter meats and simpler additives. Another strong option is Coleman Natural Hickory Smoked Chicken Links, which list real ingredients, minimal processing, and no mystery preservatives. So here we are, 7 smoked meats sold across all 50 states that should have come with a warning label instead of a price tag. They're still on shelves, still on ads, still sliding into your grocery cart like nothing ever happened. But now you know what's behind the smoke. You've got better choices, better brands, cleaner food, and a right to ask more from the companies you buy from. Because if a label says smoked, it shouldn't mean hidden, cheapened, or quietly dangerous. Stick around. We're not done calling them out.
This video does not promote division within the United States or encourage segregation. All content is presented for the purpose of exploration, analysis, and fostering discussion based on current events, public sentiment, and social trends. We fully respect the United States Constitution and all federal regulations. If today's analysis made you think, drop a comment so we can keep the conversations going. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell so you will never miss our next independent deep dive.